Hey, so I decided to make a tutorial today. Tutorial simply of how to make a broadsider. And we're not going to get overly complicated. So let's begin. First, you want to get the height of how high you need to build. So for this, we're going to use tier 7s. And now we have our height. The reason why we do this is so then we don't end up making a giant pillar and say put the treads right here, start the game, and we're like, oh crap, can't move. So yeah, that's what we do. We get the height of what we want, and then we get rid of the treads once more. The reason why we do this is because we want to make a box around our pilot seat. A 3x4 box like this. And I think I'm going to put my pilot seat right here. But I Triforce the pilot seat so that way plasma fire doesn't insta-get me from, let's say, if they hit me in my ass. And then from there. So it's not a heavy Triforce, it's more or less just a precaution in case if someone, say, hits the underside. But we're also going to put cubes on the underside as well. So, now that we have our general layout, we put the treads back on. Now, generally, you want your pilot seat as far back from the front as possible in this, but you don't want it too far back to the point where there's only 1 or 2 layers of cubes. Generally, you want a 3-cube layer on your back side and a 5-cube layer or more on your front. So again, we placed our wheels. Yep, we placed them a little too high, possibly. I mean, it's alright. It looks alright. Yeah, but hold on. Let's do it like this. It's safer that way. Safer bet. That way we can have a 2-layer on our bottom in case if, let's say, we flip, which happens from time to time, you know. Gotta prepare for the worst. Alright. Now we're going to make the top part, which is also fairly simple. Alright. Now we have our top. Now, at this part, we're going to build our front. So, for this, we generally, you want it, your very front to be about this far for this size of a tread for tier 7 or tier 8. And the reason why is because broadsiders are tanky and compact. You don't want it to be overextended to, say, this point, because then you're building 2 mini cubes on your tombstone, right? The front shield is nicknamed the tombstone because that's, you know, like in Death Race, that giant shield on the car, you know, that kind of thing. So now we put our shields on. We do that right off the bat, so we have our bases to work around, and then later we're not trying to remove cubes to accommodate because we were trying to put the cubes first. But there we go. This is, again, a simple one. We're not trying to go overboard or something fancy. So this is going to be the basis of our tombstone right here, right? We're going to build around it. So now we fill in the chocolate bar, as I call the front piece. And the reason I call it the chocolate bar is there's a lot of tasty CPU that your enemy has to eat away to get to you. So essentially, shooting a broadsider is going to generally get you a lot of XP because this is a heavy CPU build, and by heavy I mean there's a lot of fucking cubes. But generally you only need to be about level 60 max, probably. I mean minimum. My bad. So again, right now we are just filling in the front. We're not trying to go overboard or fancy with this. The reason why we build, again, the front first is because we don't want to end up building the rest of the tank and then not having our tombstone in the front, because that's the key part. The key of a broadsider. That's what makes it so awesome. There we go. Now we start filling in as much of the front plate as we can, because again, this is meant to be tanky. We're not building the scrubmobile, we're building the tank. That's actually a little too high. But another reason why I decided to do the video is because the original tutorial I made was just really bad. And I decided, oh hey, Textor, my friendly neighborhood buddy and fellow bot creator of awesomeness, put a tutorial on how to use this video recording software. So yeah, why not? And there you go, your frontal tombstone is done. You might want to get a mount piece on the front. I call parts where you put in weapons mount pieces. And, oh yeah, we can make it slightly more tanky right there. Cool. There we go. And your frontal tombstone is done. Beautiful. Look at that. Enemies are going to look at that and be like, what the hell? It's so tanky. Why is it so tanky? Gotta shoot through all those cubes and waste my fucking time. And now we're building the sub-tombstones. If your frontal one is too heavily damaged, you can do like a torso turn with your bot and decide, hey, I'm going to turn and face part of my ass in your direction. Not my full ass, because that's silly, but part of it. And the part we're going to show our enemies is going to have a few cubes. It's not going to be super tanky like the front, but it'll be tanky enough to the point where you're not insta-gibbed from the side or your treads are taken out. It's just a temporary thing. So let's say there's a medic right behind you and your tombstone starts getting heavily damaged, but you want to keep shielding your buddy, right? That's what this is designed to do, is kind of be a shield for your teammates. I don't exactly like the back, because I want 3 cubes, right? So there we go, 3 cubes. I'll make this a little fancy. I don't have to do it exactly like this on the back, but you know, it's pretty. And now we put weapons on. So we're going to use tier 7 SMGs for this. And actually, I want that to be on the side, like, there we go. You can change with the mount points as you